gotkushTV. After a stellar 2019, your #1 Black conscious media platform is getting ready to go into overdrive for 2020. As we promised, last year we launched The Inside. We premiered the pilot for the Black Economic Show. We dropped 2 new seasons of Wordsmith, the #1 platform for artists with a message in the movie. We've seen you out on the road, the Black Carpet Award, the Reparations March, the Legacy Center of Excellence, and more. We brought you Dr. Mumbi, legendary Bob Andy, Queen Diambi, Kemi Seba, Esther Santos Day, Leo Mohammed, Brother Rita Badaka, and more. And now, 2020 is set to see Dr. to be taking it to the next level. First, look out for the official launch of the gotkushTV website, your official tool for all things GKTV, including new shows, news, views, and reviews. We'll be serving you with advertising opportunities and the launch of the GKTV African market. gotkushTV.com will also be a global hub for all things Black, conscious, and empowering from all over the Black world. Black achievers, Black excellence, education, health, positive Black imagery, entrepreneurs, Black brands, and charity work. All this and more can be found here at gotkushTV.com. And there's the new shows. Decipher, the dynamic discussion and debate show. Health is Wealth, practical tips for living in wellness. Push Community, home of Black Warrior Scholarship, and UK Fire Entertainment, bringing you a slew of music videos for your listening and viewing pleasure. Look out for more of The Insight, Wordsmith, and the full 3rd season of the Black Economic Show, all coming your way soon. As always, the GKTV film team is available for hire to cover your events and all filming needs. Visit us at gotkushtv.com for higher inquiries and more information. Stand by all Black businesses through our website, social media, and show content. We have monumental advertising, sponsorship, and network opportunities catering especially for you. gotkushTV is about to take off. To join us for the ride, there's 4 things you can do. 1, subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell to make sure you don't miss a release. Join us on all social media and hit up gotkushtv.com to subscribe to our mailing list for exclusive opportunities in the near future. 2, like. Let us know you're feeling our content by hitting that ever so important button of approval. 3, comment. We want to hear your feedback on everything we're putting out, so make sure your presence is felt in the comment section. 4, share. Spread the word by hitting that share button and exposing your circle to the magnificence that is gotkushTV. We look forward to building with you throughout 2020 and servicing you with high quality Black media production. gotkushTV. Beyond discussion, beyond debate, we put the power in Black media.
Everybody say, yeah, yeah. Everybody say, yeah, yeah. Right. All of us to the first election. And the second election all in Nigeria. And the second election, now it was a pass. Papa nonsense. It passed the rigging. It passed corruption. Which kind of election be this? Papa nonsense. Papa nonsense. People not go vote. Them come get big numbers. Thousands to thousands. Billions to billions. me this. Nonsense. Nonsense. Now they're walking in city that now they're walking in city that Booty shall see the walking in city. Only booty she was. Only for Europe. Only booty shall many things. Many of them things I don't sing about. Me I not to the talk of the Oyibo style. Let us think say Oyibo no pass me. But Shagari finish him in elections. But them not tell him say him make mistake. Say this you don't be democracy. Oyibo them not tell myself. That for England, I not fit take over. I come think about this democracy, 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 crazy demonstration of grace, crazy demonstration. If you no be grace, why for Africa? As time they go, things just they bad more and more. Poor man they cry, rich man they mess. Democracy, crazy demonstration of grace, crazy demonstration. If good do teacher teach you something, and the student make mistake, teacher must talk so, but you not talk so. That's upon them, they support that this to say them teaching get meaning, different meaning, different kinds of meaning. That is why I say that is the reason of my song. That is the concluding of my song. I say, I sing, I beg everyone to join my song.
L'année dernière, j'ai rencontré Bishop Maurice. Last year, I met Maurice Bishop. Nous avons discuté longuement. We discussed for a long time. Et nous nous sommes donné mutuellement des conseils. We advised each other. Quand je suis rentré dans mon pays, j'ai été arrêté par l'impérialisme. As soon as I went back home, imperialism arrested me. J'ai pensé à Maurice Bishop. I thought about Maurice Bishop. Quelque temps après, j'ai pu être délivré de prison. Sometime later, I was freed from jail. Grâce à la mobilisation de la population. Thanks to the people's mobilization. Et j'ai pensé encore à Maurice Bishop. Once again, I thought about Bishop. J'ai préparé pour lui une lettre. I wrote him a letter. Je n'ai pas eu l'occasion de la lui envoyer. I never had the chance to send it to him. Là encore à cause de l'impérialisme. Once again, because of imperialism. Alors nous avons compris qu'il faut désormais lutter contre l'impérialisme sans relâche. I understood that we must relentlessly fight against imperialism. Si nous ne voulons pas que demain on assassine encore des Maurice Bishop, il faut que nous nous mobilisions dès aujourd'hui. If we don't want any more assassinations against other bishops, we must be organized today. Et c'est pourquoi je vais vous montrer que je suis prêt contre l'impérialisme. That's why I'm going to show you that I'm ready for imperialism. Et je vous prie de me croire que ce n'est pas un jouet. And I ask you to believe me. I'm not kidding. Ici, ce sont des balles réelles. Those bullets are real bullets. Et lorsque nous tirerons ces balles, ce sera contre l'impérialisme.
When I shoot one of those, it will be against imperialism.
Ce sera en faveur de tous les hommes noirs.
It will be for the black people.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a very, very special edition of the one and only Quarantine Convos. Yes, indeed, your number one black conscious media platform, gotkushTV, is live and in session. Myself, Shakara, alongside the Ankh Doctor, the one Matef and Ankh. Greet the people, them Ankh Doctor. You're on mute, bro. You're on mute. Unmute thyself. You know, you're on mute, bro. You have to, you know what I mean? Send the vocals through the quantum realm. You know what I'm saying, into manifestation within the vibratory frequencies of now. Oh, you can't unmute yourself. Why can't you unmute yourself? Oh, there you go. Sorry, bro. Go on. Go on, bro. Yes.
You can hear me now?
Good.
The master, we bow to the final divinity within you. Mari, my young brother,
Right,
Shakara,
how
how
you
you
doing?
doing?
Complain, man. I can't complain.
Well,
I'm good. How are you?
we are not too bad, my brother. You know, balancing and making it through this here liberation journey with a smile on our face.
Most definitely, King.
Looking forward to the reason.
Yes, kings and queens.
This
Yes.
evening.
You don't know. Well, hey, what? Yeah, today is open house, you know. Open house. So anybody can come through and say what they want to say. Ask what they want to ask. Talk about what they want to talk about. You know what I mean? But come quick because we don't have the whole evening. So we don't want you to wait until the last 2 minutes and everybody want to come through because people tend to do that nowadays, you know, kings and queens. All right. So I'm going to share the link in a second. But before we do that, just a few housekeeping things. You just saw a snippet, yeah, from the great one, Baba, Fela, and Nicola Pacuti. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have to say the full name, you know what I mean? The great musician who is the founder of the genre that is referred to today as Afrobeat, distinguished from Afrobeats, kings and queens. But we show that because today is his birthday, born October the 15th in the year of 1938, you know what I mean? And you know, me and Dua, we're music, man, you know what I mean? We love music and these things there, rhythm, tone, vibration. And when it comes to them things there, you know, kings and queens, it don't get much better than Fela and Nicola Pacuti. But not only that, the words, yeah, the message, yeah, permeate in every song that Fela Kuti ever. And so on a day like today, we can't go live and not honor the man like Fela and Nicola Pacuti. Not true, Ankh Doctor.
May I tell you, the best people born in October, you know? So, yeah, big up to the...
Well, you know what I mean. I guess that's it. However,
people like Dua Mutem, we love this month. Yeah,
I tell you what, bro. My mom is born in October, as is my queen. So, you know, so I won't and a few of my uncles, so I won't take it from you completely, you know what I mean?
There you go. You know, some of the greatest people are born in this here month of October. Yeah, none greater musically than the president, Fela. Yeah? He didn't deal with any love song, or he didn't deal with any dance song. He dealt with bare injustice and righteousness and licking out on Babylon and colonialism. Yeah, that's what Fela was all about. You know what I'm saying to you? That is the origin of what today is called Afrobeat. You know, and his legacy still lives on as the revolutionary music of Africa.
Trust. Well, you know what? I can say this here. I don't think there's an individual artist here that I've listened to more in my life than Fela Kuti. Like, as just a sing artist, like I could spend, as a teenager, I could spend days and listen to nothing but Fela Kuti. I'm not joking. That's how levels it was, man. Like the first time I got introduced to this man's music. Well, I don't even know when the first time, because I've listened to it all my life. But like, you know, coming like really as a young man, pre-teen, I remember really being engaged by the energy in his music. And the fact that he invented the genre, I remember that inspired me in it. So yeah, man, it was a unique thing. And you know, and I was studying music at different points in my teens as well. So listening deeply in terms of what he's doing with the music, and then obviously the lyrics and representing what man is trying to live. Do you know what I'm saying? So
of people he reached with his music, even though his message at the time was supposed to be so controversial, you know. Anywhere you go and play Fela, Yeah, people all races.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
love and embrace them tones and them vibrations and
Yes, sir.
how we put that percussion and that drama. Yo,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got on our fella Kuti today. So we'll talk about that. If you got a word to say on fella Kuti, stay tuned. I'm gonna share the link in a sec. You can come live with us and let us know. And I snuck something else in there, kings and queens. You might have seen, but that next thing that I snuck in there was a speech, a snippet of a speech from a great man by the name of Thomas Sankara. Yeah. The reason being is because he actually was assassinated on this day in the year 1987. Yeah, so I figured, you know what? Let me throw the Thomas Sankara thing as well, because that's very, very important. For those who are not aware, Thomas Sankara was the president of revolutionary Burkina Faso, yeah, a nation north of Ghana in West Africa, and he had many great achievements. For example, he made the nation of Burkina Faso food self-sufficient, yeah, in the space of 4 years between 1983 and 1987. Mad thing. Yeah, mad thing.
4 years.
4 years, yeah, in 4 years. And there are no nations, yeah, in Africa or the Caribbean, save maybe, because I've heard some stuff about Ethiopia, Eritrea regions, yeah, that is food self-sufficient nowadays, yeah. So, and you know, there's more that can be said on that, but if you don't know, get to know. But he was then speaking in Harlem, yeah, in 1984, October, I think it was 1984, and he mentions another man by the name of Maurice Bishop, who also was assassinated in this month on October 19th. Yeah, so if maybe a little later on, we'll give the people a little snippet of Maurice Bishop vibration. But yeah, man, I give you do Amatef. It's a beautiful month, October is. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of the different things and historical events. And it's also Black History Month, Kings and Queens. It's also Black History Month. So welcome to this special occasion as we prelude to our event coming up on Sunday, the 18th of October. Introduction to the African Alchemy of Spirituality. Yes, indeed, Kings and Queens. If you do not have your tickets, get your tickets now. And if you don't know where to get them, I'm going to show you in a sec. But do Amatef, like, just give the people an insight, yeah, into why this event, yeah, called the Introduction to African Alchemy of Spirituality is so important.
The reason why it's so important, my young brother, yeah, is because spirituality doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. Everybody bands around this word spirituality and feels that it means exactly the same thing. It's like when you band around the word love as well. People think everybody has the same meaning of love. People think everybody has the same meaning of spirituality. Not everyone has the same meaning of spirituality. To define what type of spirituality we are talking about, all right? Define the spirituality we are talking about. We're specifically talking about African spirituality. Dun, 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 dun. Now, sometimes people hear African spirituality, as you know, my brother Shakara, yeah, being born from the womb in Pan-Africanism and being familiar with the African spirituality coming out of the Caribbean. Yeah. A lot of people have the misconception about African spirituality that it's some kind of voodoo, yeah, coming from Haiti or coming out of Jamaica when they talk about Pokemon Jam, yeah. A lot of misconceptions we have because of our Europeanized education or because of our westernized education and the fact that our spirituality has been taken from a Eurocentric perception and perspective, if that makes sense. Yeah? So therefore, what we attempt to do here at gotkushTV, because you know, so we love Nubian Mennonite or African people around here. Yeah,
that's right.
But what we want to do is give you an introduction to the African spirituality so that we can become familiar with our spiritual side, with our African spiritual science. See, I use the word science there, and some of our Caribbean say, yes, see, science. But when you're talking about religious miracles of your scriptures, yeah, be it the Quran, be it the New Testament, be it the Old Testament, when you're talking about the miracles, all right, you are talking about science. It just hasn't been explained to our generations after generations that we are, when we're talking about spirituality, when we're talking about miracles, we are actually talking about science. How can we prove this? Yeah, I don't want to get too religious, but we got to prove it for the massive them out there. There's a book that we all grew up in, yeah, called the Holy Bible. All right, I'm not well too long. It's a European perspective, but just showing to you that when we were talking about our spiritual science, it was indeed a science we were dealing with. If you go into the book of Matthew, in the book of Matthew, chapter 2, in there is mentioned the three wise men of the Bible. The three wise men of the Bible, Balthazar, Melchior, and Jasper. Yeah. Now, these three wise men of the Bible, if you look in Matthew chapter 2, verse 7, it explains that they were following a star. In fact, it explains it from about chapter 5, that they were following a star. Yeah. So that would be astronomy. All right, they were following a star to be able to find the Messiah or the Masonic child of that day and time. And the ruler at that time, Herod, wanted those wise men, or as they were known, the Magi. Yeah, look it up. Don't believe a word what we're saying. Yeah, if you go into the Britannia Encyclopedia, it will have up the Magi and it will relay you to the King James Bible, Matthew chapter 2, explain to you the story of somebody in your Bible called Jesus and the three wise men who were looking for that Masonic child to be born. But the point that we're making is those three wise men were following a star, all right? And the star that they were following was in the east. So in order to follow a star, you have to have knowledge of a science which is called astronomy, all right? And astronomy is the science not only of the stars but of the star constellations. And they were doing something in ancient Africa what we knew as solar biology. Yeah, the word solar pertaining to the sun, pertaining to a star, because the sun is a star. All right, and biology because the impact that the sun and the stars has on the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual being of humanity, if that makes sense to you. All right, that's fine. The point that I want to bring across to you, in your Qurans, in your Bibles, it speaks about what we call solar biology, which in European science became astronomy. All right, now we as ancient Africans in the 21st century, what we got to comprehend, Shakara, we are the mothers and fathers of medicine, and we are the mothers and fathers of science. Being the mother and fathers of science and the mothers and fathers of medicine, that would make us the mothers and fathers of spirituality, because spirituality is a science. Does that make sense? Are you following us thus far? If you join those dots. So I'm just trying to make it very basic and very simple for the great people out there, because as we know, this is an introduction into African spirituality. And what we want to be able to do is to be able to have conversations about spirituality, and especially Nubian Melanites, Black people, African Americans, Black British, whatever you call yourselves, to have a firm understanding, or for us to be on the same page about African spirituality, because a lot of the spirituality that our people gravitate to nowadays is called New Age. So you're dealing with things like the Stonehenge, you're dealing with things like the winter solstice, you're dealing with things like the summer solstice. To many religious minded people in Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, that would be paganism. Yeah. Yet we have to identify within their religious books, yeah, there are many places where mentioned are the science of solar biology, different star constellations, the fact that the three wise men, Jasper, Melchior, and Balthazar were doing astronomy in order to find a Masonic figure, and all of it, we now have to find out its relevance and its importance in this day and time, if that makes sense, Shakara.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give thanks. Give thanks for that. Go ahead.
We're looking forward to having any questions about African spirituality, and also about African health, because like I said, we are mothers and fathers. Who is the father of medicine that they tell us is the father of medicine? Father of medicine, they tell us, is the great Baba, the world's first multi-talented genius. Hear what they call him? The world's first multi-talented genius, I am Hotep. Have we heard of I am Hotep? Yes. Yeah, he's acknowledged as being responsible for the construction of the pyramids at Saqqara. I am Hotep is also responsible for something what's called the Ebris Papyrus, which today, the Ebris Papyrus, you can find at King's College in London, which has over 108 prescriptions and medical formulas. Yeah, it's like 60 feet wide, Shakara. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? And many people are not aware of the Ebra Papyrus. You walk into the British Museum, you know where to look. If you know where to look, you see pieces of the Ebra Papyrus, like I said, which is today still used within the medical or medicine fraternity. All right, it's still used today as the foundation of prescription and as the foundation of different medicinal formulas.
Yes,
Who
sir.
taught I am Hotep? Who taught I am Hotep is the father of astronomy. The father of astronomy in ancient Africa is a great angelic host who goes by the name of Tahuti or Zeduti. Yeah, Tahuti or Zeduti became in European religion the high priest Melchizedek, who the Christ of your Bible was initiating that priesthood, became the angel Michael in Christianity, became Al-Qadir in Islam. So once you learn to join the dots and see who these characters are, you can see the science that they came with, which is the science of alchemy. The science of alchemy came from Tahuti, all right? And Tahuti is the one who is responsible for the calendars that we follow today, which was perfected by I am Hotep, and for the astronomy, which became astrology today. But I don't want to lose people. I don't want to get too deep because I want to get your questions. But this is the reason why we need to have this introduction so we can now be able to take the African that is within our ancient texts and be able to apply them in this day and time, because with everything that's happening right about now, we need to learn how to apply these sciences today.
Giving thanks for that, Duamatef and Ankh, and I'm sure that we're your appetite, kings and queens, for the event coming up this coming Sunday, the 18th of October. The link is in the chat, kings and queens. The link is in the chat. So if you want to come through and speak to us, ask a question, make a comment, say something on our fella and Nicola Kuti, Morris Bishop, Thomas Sankara, or raise anything that's on your mind. It's open house, and this house is yours house. Whose house? Yours house, kings and queens. Yes, indeed, you don't know. And as we go further, let me let you know where you can get your tickets to come through and join us on Sunday, the 18th of October. Lord of mercy. It's going to be very, very serious, kings and queens. Yes, indeed. And trust me, the lineup is levels. The lineup is levels, kings and queens. On your screen right now, you can see the gotkushTV website. Yes, indeed, kings and queens, the gotkushTV website. And if you go to gotkushtv.co.uk/events, you will be able to pre this gotkushTV website, kings and queens, and get your tickets right here. As you can see the flyer right here for the beautiful event that is the introduction to the African alchemy of spirituality. We are a spiritual people. We're gonna have a range of perspectives and varying different opinions and viewpoints on this day, kings and queens. Lord have mercy. Check out the lineup, kings and queens. My Lord, let's enlarge the page for you so you can see it even better. Yeah, and scroll up all on there. We want to scroll up. No, the wrong thing in the rasta. What go on? All on there. So, kings and queens. I'm gonna show you the lineup, yeah, for this fantastic event. Right, here we go. You have, yeah, Sister Moot, the urban goddess, who is going to be addressing us on the subject, yeah, of the alchemy of childbirth, kings and queens. We're going to be dealing with childbirth, the spirituality, the spiritual energy and vibration of childbirth, kings and queens. And then we've got Sister Michelle Ya Asantua, who is going to be dealing with spirituality as healing and resistance. Spirituality as healing and resistance. Yours truly, Shakara, will be speaking on the day. Yes, I will be speaking on the day on spirituality and the power of nation building. We're going to be looking at the relationship between nation building and spirituality, kings and queens. And the illustrious, the erudite brother, Dalian Adofo, will also be on the bill. Dalian Adofo, who is one half of the Ancestral Voices team, and he will be speaking on the subject of becoming a force of nature. Yes, indeed, kings and queens, because you know African spirituality is about harmony and bonding with nature. But we are also a part of nature. So how can we manifest and harness our natural gifts? Brother Dalian Adofo is going to be speaking on that. Then we have the one and only brother Leo Muhammad, who will be speaking on spirit becoming flesh. Yes, indeed, kings and queens, and the word became flesh. So Leo Muhammad is going to be going in on that. We have the head minister of the Holy Coptic Church over here, kings and queens, in the UK, brother Kahun Montutar, and we're yet to find out what Kahun Montutar is going to be speaking on, but we look forward to it because we know it's going to be dread, deep, and enlightening anyway. Brother Robin Walker is going to be ministering to us on the true message within the so-called Egyptian Book of the Dead, more properly referred to as the Book of Coming Forth by Day. And in addition to all of those erudite speakers, we're going to be opening with a libation, a special libation from Griot Chinyere herself. Yes, indeed, kings and queens, one of the number one storytellers coming out of the UK. Griot Chinyere is going to open the way and bring in the ancestors. And we are also going to be blessed by the one and only VVN. Yes, indeed. Check out, if you have not already, her EP entitled Elemental. You know what I'm saying? And you can watch her video live on gotkushTV for Summer Breeze right about now. Trust me, it is the anthem of the summer. You don't know. From now until next year. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. And I encourage you, if you're taking a sister out on a date, especially if it's one of them third dates, and you're bringing her home to cook, put Summer Breeze in the playlist, yeah? Put Summer Breeze in the playlist. I encourage you to do so, kings and queens. It's going to be levels. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Right, moving forward, who else is on this fantastic bill? Finally, Ras Ashaba of the African Revolution is going to be bringing us together and closing us out with the drum energy. So if you want to come through, it's online. Yeah, it's an online event. And we're going to be streaming from Yassa. So please, yeah, the tickets are £5. The tickets are only £5 for all of that, you know. You get it for the only £5. Are you mad? Yeah, so you can get your tickets by clicking this golden button right here, and you'll be able to purchase your tickets this coming Sunday from 12 p.m. Introduction, excuse me, to the African alchemy of spirituality. Yes, indeed. We look forward to seeing you down there. Whilst we're here, kings and queens, on the gotkushTV website, might as well show you the website, innit? Might as well.
Might as well.
You know what I mean? All right. So as you can see, yeah, look at these good-looking brothers right here. These good-looking melanated black men. You know what I'm saying? You can see featured prominently on our front page. If you don't know, get to know. The Ankh Doctor has a show on gotkushTV called Hola Meds with the Ankh Doctor, kings and queens. So come through in Hola Meds with the Ankh Doctor. Our last episode featured brother Leo Muhammad himself, yeah. And if you look in the background, you can see that this backdrop is now advertising the Summer Breeze video. Well, you can use this background as well to advertise your things, your products, your events, your services if you want to, kings and queens. Yes, indeed, feel free to do so. Get in contact with us, yeah. By the way, this is open house. If you're just joining us, it's open house here in Quarantine Convos today. Me and Duamatef are just holding the meds, and you can come and join us. The link is in the chat. If you want to come through and join us on gotkushTV this evening. All right, so feel free to holler at us here if you want to advertise on gotkushTV's website. You can see our video here for our latest episode of Wordsmith, our platform, the #1 platform for artists with a message in the music. Get easy access to all of our flagship shows, right? Yes, kings and queens, in our flagship show section. You can also advertise as well in this video section. And every day we update, yeah, our recent video section with anything that is going on in the black world that you need to know about. You can check it out right here, kings and queens. You can check it out in this video section right here. Yes, indeed. More on the gotkushTV website a little bit later on. But for now, I just want to reiterate to you that today, yeah, is open house. Yeah, today is open house. So I'm gonna share the link again. Yeah, again, where there's previewing the things that are gonna go on, yeah, on Sunday the 18th, yeah, of October. And we are opening the platform to you to discuss anything that you want to discuss, whether it's lockdown and the government allied to it, and or it's lockdown and we need to follow the guidelines, or you know what I mean, more go to Jamaica, you know, Rasta. Long time we want to leave the country because we don't want to stuck in a Babylon for too long. You know what I mean? So anything you want to say, Kings and Queens, feel free to come through. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Yes, indeed. My Lord. All right, Duamatef. So
you know, I want to know, Shakara.
Go on.
There's a lot of stuff that we put on gotkushTV, a lot of ideas that we put out because this is what we feel. Our audience will require in this day and time. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff, Decipher, The Insight, Holder Meds, Wordsmith, we've all come up with our content in order to put out what we feel the people need. I'd like the people to tell us what them feel say they would like to see on gotkushTV. Don't you think that'd be a good idea?
It's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question.
Yeah, what would they like? You know what I mean? Because we don't know it all round there. We don't want to make out like we know it all round there. You know what I'm saying to you? But we say this because we try to be forward thinking. We're at gotkushTV. Our mission statement is we want to be the liberation media for Nubian Melanites, African Caribbean, Black British, etc. And also, not only that, we want to hear what the people feel that they want from Gotkush. You know what I'm saying to you? Because if they don't interact with us and let us know, then how are we going to know? Because I know we got a lot of people subscribed, or a reasonable amount, yeah, in this world of YouTube subscription. I know we get a lot of action on social media, yeah, in terms of the interaction that way. Yet for our numbers, we also know there's a whole host more people who might not like or subscribe, but just watch what we're doing and want to see if we're going to be successful. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you'd like to see. What would make you subscribe to gotkushTV? What would make you like our content? Am I being presumptuous?
No, good question, King. Good question. So the link is in the chat if you want to let us know. You know what I'm saying? And as well as that, let us know what your favorite show is as well. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, we're open to all of your suggestions, your knowledge, your room for improvements, your commendations, your critiques, even Kings and Queens. We're open to it all. So feel free to click that link in the chat, and you can come through and talk to myself and the Art Doctor. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Right now, this evening. Yeah, I'm thinking. Have you got a favorite Fela Kuti tune, Duamatef?
If I had to say my favorite Fela Kuti tune would be African Woman. I love that tune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lady.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
African Woman.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm thinking about myself here. It's impossible for me to say, fam. It's impossible for me to say. I'm just a fan of Fela Kuti. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
that one I can't sit down.
No, yeah, I hear that.
You can't sit down.
Yeah. I hear that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Nah, he's got too much tune, you know. And the most beautiful thing about him is that you can listen to him and know exactly what was going on in Nigeria or in Africa at the time. Yeah, like the storytelling is mad. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, you get a political lesson, you get a history lesson, you get a lesson in African philosophy. You know, he'll throw in a Yoruba
mentality. He gives you a lesson.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, man. You lot as well, family. Let us know your favorite Fela Adekunle Kuti songs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's it called? Empress Free says, water no get enemy. Water no get enemy. I say water no get enemy. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Big tune that. You know what I'm saying? So we give thanks. Yeah, there's normally a celebration taking place in Nigeria during this time. Probably not taking place at the moment due to social distancing restrictions. Are you social distancing? Are you social distancing?
Am I social distancing? Yeah. The only thing I'm trying to social distance right now is my mind and mentality to make sure that it's balanced from all the foolishness. Yeah?
Check it out, go on.
Hey, you know, London Palladium, they had a big sellout with the ex-Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger. You know what I'm saying to you? the current lockdown, they're saying we're now in tier 2, and the current lockdowns, I'm trying to work it out because they're saying we can't mix in each other's yard. I can't come and check Shaka, or I can't come and check my other brethren from Gotkush, or you can't come and check me. But we're all gonna be mingling in Mr. Lidl, Mr. Asda, Mr. Tesco. Yeah, I come from different household. Yeah, so how is it we can't mingle in the pub, in the theatre, but we can mingle in the supermarket? It don't make sense, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sense of the nonsense. You know what I mean? And it's very interesting that they got as we were talking about science earlier on, they got 2 scientists, who have come out from SAGE, which is one of the government organizations. 2 scientists, their names Professor Graham Medley and Professor Matt Keeling. They're saying all this circuit breaking that they're talking about and lockdown, it's not even clear that it would even work, even though they're going to implement it at this present time. You know what I mean? Yeah, big tune, Lou. Teach me no nonsense.
That is, you see that tune there, yeah?
Mad.
You see that tune, yeah? I know what, sorry, I gotta say, yeah, because Lounge Alone is a producer, yeah? Like, Lounge Alone is a producer. So I know exactly why he likes that tune. There's levels to that song, yeah? There is levels, yeah, in the age. It's gone. It's gone. It's fly away. Fly away. Trust me. Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Big up to Papa Nabru, who also says, what a nugget enemy. And appropriately, he has a picture of Thomas Sankara, his profile. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So I understand this is today that one man was born and another man was assassinated. 1938, Fela Kuti was born. 1987, Thomas Sankara was assassinated on this same day, Kings and Queens. And like I said, did I say this already? That Fela Kuti was writing a song about Thomas Sankara and before he was assassinated. Yeah,
no, you say that.
Right. Yeah. So Fela Kuti, yeah. The story is that Fela Kuti, because obviously Fela Kuti is championing all this Pan-Africanism and revolutionary whatever. And in 1983, this man comes up, yeah, after Nkrumah's been overthrown, he's passed away. Patrice Lumumba has been assassinated, Amilcar Cabral's been assassinated, so on and so forth, yeah. And
running rampant throughout South Africa as well.
Right. Apartheid, Agwan. Yeah, serious thing. Good point, yeah. So this man comes up.
Steve Biko as well.
Steve Biko, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, So this man now comes up called Thomas Sankara, and he's on this revolutionary thing. They've met a couple times as well, Fela Kuti and Thomas Sankara. So he's writing this song to praise Thomas Sankara, and Thomas Sankara is killed, yeah, in 1987, all right, on his birthday. So the song that he was writing kind of takes a different turn. He continues writing the song, but the song becomes a song that's called Underground System, yeah, US Underground System, right? And it's about basically how all of the revolutionary leaders in Africa have been killed off, yeah, by an underground system of this elite that has more of an allegiance to the Western so-called former colonizers than they do their own people, yeah. And it's a brilliant song, you know what I'm saying? And the one of the major chorus lines in it goes, them shoot him today, it not go possible tomorrow. Them shoot him today, it not go possible tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a big tune. Go check that out, Fela Kuti, Underground System, when you get an opportunity, Kings and Queens. One of the lesser known Fela Kuti songs still. Go ahead, bro.
If I'm wrong, in what you're talking about, there's a, if you like, a Nubian elite that sold out the revolutionaries.
Yes.
Wasn't Thomas Sankara sold out by his best friend?
Best friend, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody like
Blaise Compaoré, who basically stayed in power after that for 30 odd years until about 2017, 2016, when the people then finally got fed up and kicked him out of office, in Burkina Faso. But yeah, I mean, and it must be said, however, that coup was basically backed by the French, who were the so-called former colonizers, and basically Blaise was serving their interest. Whereas, for example, Thomas Sankara refused to take any aid from France or America or loans from the IMF or the World Bank. Imagine this is a man, a government who made the nation food self-sufficient while refusing all foreign aid.
Yep.
Yeah, all foreign aid.
And increase the education system as well, making it one of the best in West Africa.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he did all of that. And because he was also not paying the French, because you know that nowadays you've got these 14 African nations that are paying 500 billion annually into the French central bank. Thomas Sankara was lit against that. Yeah, it wasn't about that at all, right? Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So obviously that when Blaze comes in, he reinstitutes that program. They're giving money to the French. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a massive legacy. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a good documentary online called The Upright Man. Yeah, Thomas Sankara, The Upright Man. Good thing.
Similar, sorry to cut you, of what they just recently did to Lawrence Gbagbo of Ivory Coast.
Basically, and he was a puppet for a long time, but he said, "Hey, what? We're gonna stop paying this money."
Yeah.
Yes. The French come over and said, "Hey, what? You can't stay in office, my G. You're gone." Yeah, that was it. You know what I'm saying? We got some more Fela Kuti favorites here. ITT, International Thief. Yeah, that's a beautiful song right there. Interestingly enough, there's a Roy Ayers did a take of that song called is it called Black Family? But yeah, and in fact, Roy Ayers and Fela Kuti have a song together called Center of the World, Africa. Yeah, so check that out as well. The great Roy Ayers, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine being in the studio when that was being made.
My Lord.
Oh, days.
Lord. I've seen. Have you ever seen Roy Ayers live?
Yeah, of course, what, bruv? Come on.
I see him live at the cafe some years ago. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I obviously, Fela Kuti died in '97. I never got to see him live.
I have seen Roy a couple of times at the Jazz Cafe as it goes. Yeah,
I saw it a couple of times. You know, went with the Empress one time. Still, you know, good times. But we're not gonna talk about that right now. Moving on, kings and queens. Yep. Papa Nabri says yes. Thomas Sankara told his ministers to drive cheap cars and told the French to f off. Most definitely, he banned his the politicians from driving Mercedes Benz. Yeah, and they all had to drive Renault 5 or something like that, which is like the cheapest car available at the time. Yeah, so they couldn't splash out. Yeah, he can't order the politicians what do you call it now? Money. Yeah, their payment in half. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, no corruption, right? You know what? No corruption in the government, none whatsoever. And Empress Free says, Fela Kuti's biography, This Bitch of a Life, is a fantastic read. Yes, it is. And it is currently, 1 second, let me just show off myself. 1 second.
All right, he's going to show you that he's got his little Fela book collection right about now.
I'm not going to show you the whole collection. This is what it is.
Fella's adopted child right about here, you know.
But yeah, excellent book. It's the closest thing to a biography that he's got, and it's actually written with the assistance of Baba Carlos Moore, yeah, activist from Cuba, yeah. So you know what I'm saying. If you don't know about that, get to know about this book right here. But yeah, man, big things. You know what I'm saying? Big things. Yeah, family. So yeah, man, it's we're just having an open house, free for all. Yeah. If you got a question, you can also type it in the chat. You got a question for myself, or the Matef, the Ankh Doctor. Feel free to ask us in the chat. But we love to hear your voice as well, Kings and Queens. We love to hear your voice. You know what I'm saying?
In regards to African spirituality, remember taking place this Sunday. Yeah, an introduction to the alchemy of African spirituality. Yeah, you will not be disappointed with the introduction. If any of you have ever been curious about African spirituality, we've brought you some of the best female and male exponents that have been walking this path for years to aid us with the spirituality. And we've also lined up some entertainment with it as well. So, you know, there'll be definitely the right tones and vibrate. You like your fella kind, then make sure you check out Ras Asaba when the rhythm changes. Yeah, right about now, the rhythm might change. Yeah.
On that subject here, how are you maintaining good mental health throughout this COVID period?
Well, you know, I've been grateful that I've managed to learn throughout my journey about breathing, about Shmai. I mean, you're a yoga exponent, you're a Bathsul, yeah, and that held us in good stead in order to balance amongst all of the madness. And not only that, as well, we're eating well, all right, because we worked out quite early. It was all about boosting your immune. You know what? I said it on the Facebook Live yesterday still. It would have been cheaper if they had taught everybody and helped everybody to boost their immune system than spending all of this money on furloughs and universal credit and bailing out different businesses, etc. It would have been actually cheaper to upgrade people's health than to suspend the whole economy and pay for people to stay at home, if that makes sense. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword with me, because the benefit of us being locked down is that Mother Nature benefits, the planet benefits. I think they were saying, like, during the first lockdown, the CO2 emissions, all right, because we were locked down from, when was it, March, April to about May, yeah, the carbon emissions that were being emitted from vans, cars, etc., it was at its record low on the planet at this present time. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? So I was posting some articles last week on social media that the elite, some are saying it's not really about our health per se in terms of a virus. It's more about the climate, reducing CO2 emissions, and the powers that be. You know, politicians like a good crisis. You know what I'm saying to you? Because a good crisis enables them to get good ratings or good polls. Yeah. But this current crisis has seen, in fact, the ratings of the Prime Minister, Trump, gone down, really and truly. But some are saying that the other agenda behind it is about reducing the carbon emissions on the planet, and the only way to do that is to enforce this type of lockdown. But I said, just tell the people the truth, because I'm sure the people would see with that if they knew it was about climate change, because we're in a serious state in terms of CO2 emissions, in terms of the amount of coal, oil, or fossil fuels still being pumped out into the atmosphere, and the impact that it's having, especially on the weather, tsunamis, more hurricanes, storms. We can see this weather patterns like changing from torrential rain in 24 hours to 90 degrees sunshine. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So something has to be done, because we've only got one Earth. Do you hear what we're saying to you? But what the powers that be have planned in this whole new world order, no, I'm not feeling all of that. But I get you trying to lock down the planet to try and balance the emissions or the output of fossil fuels on the planet. But tell the people the truth. You know what I'm saying? Let us make up our mind as mature adults. But they're not. This is why I said it would have been cheaper for them to tell us to boost our immune system and then say, you know what, we've got to lock down the planet because of the climate, because we are worried about the weather patterns right about now. We've got to keep this under control. Yeah, but it's like it's done in the World Economic Forum, or done in the Bilderberg Group, or done in little secret forums, and then they tweak it to come out and take away our rights, because that's what's happening at this present time. Everybody's not happy. Yeah, so we've got to watch the mental health of people, because at this present time, everybody can see it's like the walls are closing in. You know what I mean? And as Papa Garvey saying, we're not going to know ourselves until our backs are against the wall. You know? Our backs are against the wall right about now, really and truly.
Yeah. Kings and Queens, if you've got something to say on that subject, let us know. You can hit the link in the description or type something in the chat. It's mad. Erasmus says, Bernard Cord gave a talk at my uni years ago. He was crying when talking about Maurice. The Grenadian Revolution was an important event we don't hear enough about. I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's mad. I feel like that in the Caribbean education system, the Grenadian Revolution should be standard, like compulsory study. Do you know what I'm saying? At all levels, as far as I'm concerned, because it was very...
it was the first time, sorry to cut you there, but I think this is important. I don't want to forget it. The Caribbean had been invaded, because remember, Reagan sent in the US Army to invade. It's the first time that the Caribbean had been invaded since the lion that Burning Spear sing about, Christopher Columbus and John Hart.
Yeah. Well, there was one other time before that. That was Haiti. America invaded and occupied Haiti for like 15 years in the early 1900s, something like that. But it was the first time since that. So you know what I'm saying, it's madness, you know. But the wickedest thing about that is that, because people say they put out the propaganda. By the way, sorry, Bernard Cord. Let me just explain for the people who don't know who Bernard Cord is. Bernard Cord was a part of the People's Revolutionary Government. Yeah, so he was the deputy under Maurice Bishop, but he was really a co-leader in the revolution. Yeah, and he and a number of other members of the People's Revolutionary Government done years in prison for the assassination of Maurice Bishop. Now there was friction between them, but there's no evidence of the fact that he is responsible for the assassination of Maurice Bishop or any member of the government for that matter. Yeah. Even though all of them accept and admit there was frictions between them that resulted in certain things, and you know what I'm saying, like Maurice Bishop being on the house arrest and them kind of things there. But yeah, it's also important that Bernard Cord lived in the UK in the 70s, yeah, and he wrote a book called How the West Indian Child is Made, how the West Indian child is made educationally subnormal in the British education system. I learned from my uncle the other day that book is 40 years, sorry, not 40 years old, 50 years old, yeah. Next year, yeah. The book has an anniversary, 50 years old next year. So there's plans to bring him over to the country, yeah, to you know what I'm saying, in terms of looking at the educational prospects of our people from that time until now, yeah. But yeah, man, he's written 2 books on the Grenada Revolution as well, or 3. So yeah, check them out as well. You know, that's important to note in terms of who Bernard Cord is. But yeah, man, the Wamatif, like this Grenada Revolution is a madness. Like, and the wickedest thing is that the stories of Thomas Sankara and the stories of Maurice Bishop is very similar.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very similar. Do you know what I'm saying? And what they were doing for their nations in the 1980s. So yeah, man, it's important that we know these aspects of our history. We need to know about slavery. We need to know about our great scientists and inventors. You know, we need to know about our sports people and them kind of things there. But we also need to know about our great political leaders. Yeah. And what they achieved, kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? Very, 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 very important. You know. It's open house. Go ahead, Domzef.
I said freedom fighters, those who were fighting for our freedom and our liberation, and often they're made to seem as they were some kind of tyrants, especially in history, and especially being Black History Month. Yeah, it's very important. And I mean, I liked your or the title of what you came with when you said Black history is dead. Yeah, and I know you're saying that because a lot of people are saying that. In the way that it's being commercialized and being taken over in a corporate manner. All right, we call it at the as an atonist at the Holy Coptic Church. We know it is African Holocaust Month because we should never forget what happened to the Maurice Bishops, the Thomas Sankaras, the Steve Bikos, the Winnie Mandelas, the Yata Santa. We should never forget what many of the Marines went through. We should never forget these things because we're still going through them in this day and time, right here and right now, to be honest.
Most definitely, Duamatef, you know what I'm saying? And it's a madness as well, like that we can have. You know, my dad said one of the realest things here to be like when I was like a teenager, he said, you know, like with the leaders that we've had and the great movements that we've had, he said he feels like other people would have done more with them. He said we've been blessed, with the greatest leaders, that any people could ever want in their history. And he said he feels like another set of people would have done more with the gifts that Mother Nature has brought us through these great men and women that have sacrificed so much, you know what I'm saying, for all of our well-being and our development, our liberation. So,
and the common denominator as well, Shaka, in when you look at what happened to Maurice Bishop, what happened to Thomas Sankara, Maurice Bishop, Thomas Sankara, especially when you look at what happened to Winnie Mandela, when you look at what happened to, if we go all the way back to Garvey, when you actually analyze it, the colonizer got our own to take out our own, if that makes sense there. They got Black people to turn on the Marcus Garveys, to turn on the Thomas Sankara. We should never allow that to happen. We should never have a leader where they're not so well protected, that if they're going to come at us, they can't come at us with our own. They cannot come at us where even Martin Luther King was taken out by his own. So it's a sad state of affairs where we have so many of our own people who are so afraid of mass.
You said Martin Luther King. I'm sure you meant Malcolm X.
Yeah, sorry, Malcolm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, even to a degree,
I get what you mean. Go ahead. Yeah, I get what you mean. Mhm.
The real
Sorry. Go ahead, Doctor. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, we should never be at the stage again. Bob Marley said it best. How long will they kill our prophets while we stand aside and we look? We should never be in a situation where we have these great leaders and we are allowing the mechanisms of a CIA or a FBI or a COINTELPRO or MI5 or a Mossad to allow black people to turn against black people because there's a certain minority of black people who want to remain in colonialism. That should never happen again in the 21st. If anything, we should learn from Maurice Bishop, from Thomas Sankara, from Steve Biko, from Winnie Mandela, from Marcus Garvey. If anything we should learn, we should never allow another black person to take out another constructive black revolutionary leader. That should never happen again, Nubian Metal black people.
Yes, sir. I agree, brother. I figured we're talking a lot about Maurice Bishop to give the people them a piece of the spirit of Maurice Bishop. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is Maurice Bishop speaking in June of 1983 in America. All right, he's gone there because there's the American government under Ronald Reagan is drilling up some hostility against the People's Revolutionary Government of Grenada. And whilst he's gone to America, he's connected with our brothers and sisters in Harlem, New York, and he's speaking at Hunter College. And yeah, he's about to speak to the contents of a secret report that he was made privy to during his visit. Yeah, a secret report from the State Department that he was able to feast his eyes on, and he's informing the people about what was in the secret report. And so check it out.
The real reason for all of this hostility is because some perceive that what is happening in Grenada can lead to a new socio-economic and political path of development. They give all kinds of reasons and excuses, some of them credible, some utter rubbish. There's an interesting one that we saw very recently in a secret report of the State Department. I want to tell you about that one, so you can reflect on that one. That secret report made this point, that Grenada is different to Cuba and Nicaragua, and the Grenada Revolution is in one sense even worse, using their language, than the Cuban and Nicaraguan revolutions, because the people of Grenada and the leadership of Grenada speaks English and therefore can communicate directly to the people of the United States. I can see from your applause, sisters and brothers, that you agree with the report. But I want to tell you what that same report also said, and said that also made us very dangerous. And that is that the people of Grenada and the leadership of Grenada are predominantly black. They said that 95% of our population is black, and they had a correct statistic. And if we have 95% of predominantly African origin in our country, then we can have a dangerous appeal to 30 million black people in the United States.
No, that aspect of the report clearly is one of the most sensible ones.
Yes, family. Yes, family. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Maurice Bishop there talking in America. Yeah, from Grenada and them kind of things. We got a guest coming through. You know, a surprise guest, in fact. Thank you for joining us, brother Everlast, my Somali brother.
What's up, bro?
What you say,
Shakara, bro? It's been a while, man. It's been a while since this pandemic thing happened.
It's been a hot minute. I know, my brother.
Yeah,
I know.
well,
How are
man,
you, bro?
I'm doing well. What about you? How's your thing going on?
It's great. We're doing good. We're here. Do you know what I'm saying? We're developing, so we give thanks. I see your channel is growing.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, it is. Alhamdulillah.
Let people know about the Somali corner.
So I don't know. It's like I never wanted to start a channel. I used to come on Speaker Scroll and I just talk about Somali history, and then a lot of Somalis got interested in the things that I have to say, and they were like, "Bro, like we love your content and the things that you say. Why don't you just create your own channel and just base it on Somali history and Somali culture and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And then I tried it out, and then people loved it. They were like, "Oh wow, okay, that's great."
Yes.
That's why.
I had an opportunity to watch the one that you did with the uncle the other day about pre-Islamic.
Benjuma. Yeah.
No, the other uncle, the Somali uncle about
Ausguro. His name is Ausguro.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That was very informative.
I've learned a lot. This guy, I speak to him like sometimes he calls me just to say hi, or I just ask him a question, and we just speak for 3 hours. Information. He's writing a book soon, so the information he has, it's crazy, my guy. It's
definitely. Well, family, in this era of Black History Month, if you do want to learn something about Somali history, brother Everlast channel is the place to go. Somali Queens on YouTube. Do check it out. You know what I'm saying? Learn about some history that we don't often get to hear about, often get to know about. And he's going deep. He's going deep. I feel like you're exposing your audience to even things that a lot of Somali people are not even too knowledgeable about. That's the impression I get from some of the conversations that you're having, bro. So
100%, man. People, I know, like people just come up to me and be like, "Yo, man." I even have a Discord thingy where a lot of people join, and I have a lot of Somalis who are really good in history, but they're just too shy to be on a YouTube channel and all that stuff. So sometimes I like to, talk to them and get information here and there. So yeah. So what's the topic about?
It's open house, bro. So I was about to ask you. It's open house. So what brings you here today? Is this anything? Yeah, it's just anything.
Man. Like basically, I've been seeing gotkushTV for a while. So I've seen you do a lot of stuff, and I was like, "Yo, let me speak to Shakara today, man. I haven't spoken to him for a while, man." And a lot of people from my channel, they know about you, and they always say good things about you. They're like, Khalid, when you debate other people at the park, they always have this negative output or negative way of dealing with you because the things that I say is too controversial sometimes. But then when you speak to Shakara, he tries to level with you. You guys on the same level, you understand each other, and you have this thing going on. And I was like, yeah, Shakara is one of a person. He comes across in a very interesting, because I remember the first time I saw you was at the park when you and Jedi was debating about Africa. Normally every time I see these people come together, it's never about Africa. They even reject the name Africa. They don't want to be called Africans. I was like, this guy, why is he talking about Africa? That's not the right circle, you know what I mean? It's not the right circle for this guy. That's when I was like, I think me and him, we're gonna have some little disagreements, but as long as the topic is about Africa, then we're cool. So yeah.
To disagree around here at Gotkush, we ain't got a problem with that. Everlast, I just wanted to ask, Mastu, welcome to gotkushTV. I just wanted to ask, Somalia at this present time, unbeknown to maybe a lot of people here in the UK, especially Caribbeans, because Somalia tends to get a lot of negative press in the West. It's one of the fastest growing economies right about now in Africa, right?
Yeah, its economy is growing, but then there's war. You see, Somali. What you need to understand is like the Somalia is in a very strategic place, and you know it just so happens like our ancestors, when they were dividing each other to take over this land during the Cushitic expansion, they knew what they were aiming for, and there was a time when they have split themselves into three different confederation tribes. You know, you got the nomadic tribe, and you had the fisherman tribe, and you had the craftsman tribe, and so this is how they expanded into the Horn of Africa. So eventually, many superpowers tried to conquer and take over, Arabs included, Portuguese included. Even there are some hypotheses about Romans coming to the Horn of Africa, trying to take over. They failed. So eventually, 1991, America came, and that was also a disaster. And so basically, the point I'm trying to make is that people are trying so hard to take over Somalia, because Somalia is like, when it comes to the east side, Somalia is the gateway to Africa, you know, especially to the center of Africa. And it links like all routes from Congo to north to even the Red Sea. We have the longest coastline in Africa, starting from the Red Sea near Yemen, which is close to the Middle East, all the way down to Southeast Africa. So there's all these things going on, and so a lot of people are trying to take hold of Somalia. And also in the past 4 years, the political system was going really well, but then the Emirates, right, people like the Emirates, people like Egypt, who has quarrels with Ethiopia right now, because Ethiopia is trying to build a dam in the Nile River and all of this shit. So there's a lot of things going on, and this tension is kind of affecting Somalis. And you have a lot of puppet politicians who are leaders of particular regional states, right? And before the modern day government, the Farmajo government, what they were doing is like the country was in chaos, right? Because these regional government took themselves as presidents, right? They have their own flags, their own little government going on. And when Farmajo came, he tried to get rid of all of this. He got rid of all the regional governments. He all brought them under his government, i.e. the central Somali government. But unfortunately, there are two regional governments or regional states which are very hard to understand, which is the Kismayo and the Kismayo and Puntland regional government. And the reason being is because these guys have some close relation with the Emirates and the Kenyans, and you know, stuff like that. So Kismayo is being deployed, so Kenyan troops are being deployed into Kismayo illegally. You know, right now there's actually a war going on between Somalia and Kenya in the Somali-Kenyan border. You know, a lot of Kenyan soldiers were killed by certain Somali soldiers. 20 of them were injured and 5 of them were dead, because what the Kenyan soldiers were doing is like, you know, they are, they kidnap, you know, certain young Somalis and Somali families. They kill them and then they dump them back into the border. And the Somali government tried to speak about this, but then Kenya is also part of the AMISOM soldiers, like certain African Union soldiers who came to Somalia to establish stability and peace. But they've been doing this for almost 20 years and nothing has been done. You know what I mean? But however, there's been a lot of rape going on, a lot of killing going on by these African Union soldiers, you know, mistreating Somalis. So long story short, there's a lot of tension in Somalia. So Kenya, at the moment, also there's a tension between Kenya and Somalia in the border maritime dispute. That's another one. So so
Ethiopia is involved as well, isn't there? Because I know there's a conflict between, as you said, Egypt, Ethiopia, to do with the building of a dam all along the Nile, as well as Somalia and Kenya as well. What do you see, Everlast, is going to be the solution for Africa to bring any harmony or peace, if that's possible? Because like you said, in some region, it's been going for 20 years.
First of all, let me ask Shakara, is this video going to be saved later?
Yes.
That's good, yeah, because I wanted my Streamlab recorder isn't working, so that's why I'm asking. So yeah, Africa. If we come back to Africa, unity, for me is like, maybe Shakara would disagree with me on this one, but I don't believe in a I don't believe in a African Union thing, like one currency and all of this, one people. For me, it doesn't make sense, and it will never happen. And the reason why it would never happen is because there will be a lot of disagreements, because everybody wants to rule their own people. So the only person who can understand their people is their own people. So I think the best way Africa can go forward is economy. Okay, we need to. Africa has everything in Africa. You understand? We have everything in this continent. It's the largest continent in Africa. Look, the West needs us. Asia needs us. We don't need nobody. But the thing is, like, we've been taught. Let me tell you something, right? If you want to discourage someone from a young age, or if you see a potential in a child, you see this child is gonna grow up to be success, right? But then you don't want that to happen. The best way you could do that is like to you psychologically demoralize the kid and be like, you're bullshit. You're never gonna do this. You're nobody and all that stuff. And eventually the kid would believe that.
A waste man or a waste person.
Exactly. So eventually that person would believe that he or she is going to be like that. So what they're doing with Africa is like media, everything. They try to use everything to target African people, make them feel like they're nothing. They haven't got, we are poor. That's bullshit. We're not poor. We have high rate of disease, not really compared to the West. You know what I'm saying? They say all sorts of stuff. But what I think is, like, first of all, economy. Somalia, for instance, we have gold, we have oil, we have uranium, we have everything. Same thing with Central Africa, same thing with Ghana, Nigeria, all around the world, all around the continent. We all have something to trade among each other. And that would kind of raise the Somali economy. Sorry, I always talk about Somali, so Somali economy. That would eventually raise the African economy, and it would make us exactly. And yeah, so I think economy is the best way, and trade. That's the best way Africa can come back to heroes.
Harmonize, though, if you're saying you don't see a future for the African Union, because a load of people in the African diaspora, they're looking to the African Union, because if you got to understand, this is what has been placed by the West in front of us. So I want to bring Shaka, because I'm interested to hear Shaka, because I know that the African Union was a dream of the great Baba Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah.
Yes and no. Because the first thing that we have to appreciate is that right now the African Union is funded by the European Union.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gets a significant amount of its funding from the European Union. So there's a problem there, right? From the very get-go, yeah. But I feel like there's two different things. My auntie Afyong from Nigeria, she differentiates between what preceded the AU was the Organization of African Unity, and she says that there's a difference between the Organization of African Unity and the African Union of States. Yeah, and so the difference really is political unity, which presumes economic unity, or economic unity without political unity. That is the difference, right? So whereas everyone else is saying that we probably disagree, we do have some disagreements on this. Although I don't think maybe my understanding of political unity hasn't been properly explained here. But the point is that there needs to be my contention is that the 54 states as they exist right about now are not viable. Yeah. In terms of being
a global power,
by themselves,
like Russia, like China. I agree.
This what I'm saying. Yeah. So in that sense, at least the level of unity or integration that's needed is one whereby we're able to trade with the rest of the world as a power. Or as powers, right? Just what I'm saying. So I feel like, and especially because a lot of these borders were not created by us in the first place anyway, right? Like they weren't created by us, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Somalia would have been bigger than it is today. So
indeed, I thought a brother would say that. So yeah, so they weren't created by us, right? So now I will say this, however, that when it comes to the EU, right, and the European Union, even though Brexit are going right about now, whatever, when you heard a lot of the debates around the EU, what they were saying is that the EU has presided and is responsible for the longest era of peace, in European history. They have never had a 70-year period whereby there's not been a war in Europe. We cannot say the same for Africa. So I suggest, that if Europe can unite itself to the extent that it has, right, to whatever extent it has, then we can do it if we get over. And it doesn't mean that we have to disregard the differences and the frictions, but it just means that we have to realize as well that there is a road to resolve some of those issues as well. Like there must be a road to resolve some of those issues at the same time as well. And that's my only real contention with that is concerned. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like just say everything else. I think part of it is this, because a lot of the time, there's a saying from Diop, Sheikh Anta Diop, where he says that Africans don't really know Africa. And he meant Africans on the continent. So like he's saying, well, if you ask an African in Nigeria, Wagwan for Burkina Faso, he's not going to be able to tell you, or Senegal or Somalia or South Africa. Off the time, we know our little place in it. So I feel like there's a lot of conversation that needs to take place, and you know what I'm saying, so that we get to know what is the dynamics that go on the coastline of Somalia. What are the unique issues that our brothers and sisters in Somalia are facing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, brother, you touched on the American invasion in 1991. Most people don't even know about that. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they don't know as well because the Somali people them defeated or beat the US Army. Right?
Imagine, man.
91. Guerrilla warfare style. So and all now they're recovering from that. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing is this though, the European Union that you're talking about is based on common interest. You know, it's like I want this, you want that, so let's do it together. That's what it is. But then, if that's the what's it called, African Union we're talking about, then I don't mind that particular way of thinking. But it's just like certain Afrocentrics, they like to push this as far as saying that one African government. You know, I am strictly against that, and the reason being is because, for instance, right now Africa itself. Let's take out one African country. There is misunderstanding and chaos just in one African country. Politically, culturally, there's a clash. So why do you think one African government, which people are like, they don't
hypothetical everlasting? Let's say the government looked like this. Let's say that the government. All right, let's keep it to the 54 states right about now. And the government was not a presidential government or a prime ministerial government, but the government was a council. Okay. Right? And each nation had a member in the council. And the council made decisions together. And this is a complete hypothetical, right? Now, there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's complete hypothetical. Let's say it was a council. So there's 54 members in the council, and they represent the various different nations. And it could be a number. It could be, let's say there's 5 members in the council, one representing East, West, North, South, and Central, or whatever, right? Just what I'm saying. But let's keep it 54. So each nation has its own, as it stands right now, has its own representative, and those people are elected to enact policies that benefit the development or the unity of the continent as a whole. How does that sound?
I think that sounds good. I would that's a good hypothesis. I would take that, but it's just that, you know, the idea of also one currency. What do you think of that one as well?
I think that it would be a powerful thing. I think that why I think it's a powerful thing is that we need mechanisms, to be able to
negotiate the economic system of the Europeans or the economic system of other races
from a position of power.
It's imperative, I think, that Africa has its own economic system and stops because at this present time, if the truth be known and the reality be known, Africa depends on the economics and the economic system of the West. This is why the US dollar is seen as the reserve currency, or the franc is seen as the reserve currency for Western currencies, be it a dollar, euro dollar, be it a pound, etc., are seen as a reserve currency, rather than African countries coming together, building up the strength of a currency backed by its resources. Yeah, because that way, that currency can never go bust if it's backed by African resources. Does that make sense? It can't go bust if it's backed by gold, backed by uranium, backed by diamonds, backed by earth. It can't go bust. Unlike the European economy, which is backed by fresh air, it's backed by nothing. It's a debt system. It's backed by nothing. Yeah. So for me personally, I feel that Africa coming up with an economic system similar to what Gaddafi suggested, whereby it's backed by African resources, has to be the way forward, especially for Africans in the diaspora and Africans to get away and move away from the economic system of the West, if that makes sense.
I think that it would be good in the sense of the fact that it would allow trade between, like you're talking about, trade between the nations in Africa to flow easier.
Yes.
And make us and put us in a more powerful position when it comes to the rest of the world as well. When it comes to China, when it comes to India, when it comes to Europe, when it comes to America, I think that would be a good thing. And it's not like any of our currencies are doing very well right now.
Well, yeah.
In hearing the suggestion, what do you think?
First of all, I like the judgment. I like how you guys put it through. But then at the end of the day, I think it's a risky road to take. Right. And the reason why I think that is because, yes, we can rely on resources, but at the end of the day, if resources, they don't last forever. You understand? Like they do end or they do stop at some time, you know, or something can happen. The world keeps changing anyways. So I think if we have one economy if we have one currency and the currency falls or the currency, something happens to the currency, right? The currency state, then the whole continent will fall with it, you know? So I think, what I think is that, you know, instead of having one currency, I think each nation should have their own currency, their own money, so that in the future, if anything happens to one nation, there's another nation there to support it because they have a really high or good economy and good currency going on. So this helps the contribution in the African world if you have different currencies, you know. So sometimes, you know, certain countries will fall, certain countries would, you know, rise, and when it comes to currencies, and that's good, you know, just like in the European world, right? Not all European countries use euro money. You know, some of them use their own currency. So what I'm saying here is that it's best that we have also what I think is that for instance in East Africa, excluding the Horn, in Kenya, I think Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, and Uganda, they came together to form the East African Union, right? Whereby Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, and Sudan are they're coming together to form the Horn of African Union. So in that, if we all have our own unions in that way, and we all have certain, like maybe using the same currency at the same time, I think that would also help Africa in so many ways, you know, because you have chunks of different countries who came together to form a union, to form one particular currency or one particular economical trading and all of this. That's way better. I think, look, difference and segregations is better than unity, because, you know, for instance, right now it's really hard to get rid of Africa. The reason being is because Africa is a snake with, or let's think of as a dragon, not a snake, right? Let's think about a dragon. Africa is like a dragon with many heads, right? They try to get rid of one, there's another one standing. But if we have one government, one currency, one economy, then you become a dragon with one head, and you can easily people can easily get rid of you. And if that happens, then the influences come out of nowhere, and again we're back to the same level again, like Africa. You know, the dumb shit or whatever.
I hear you, family. Yeah, we're wrapping up soon. Yeah, the link is in the chat for anybody who wants to join. You know what I'm saying? It's gotkushTV, Quarantine Convos. It's open house, isn't it? I got a question for you, Everlast. Yeah, today is the birthday of the great musician from the nation that they call Nigeria, Fela Kuti. Yeah, so I want to know from you, right? Give the people them, like the Somali musician artists that they need to be listening to, that they need to check out, past, present, you know what I'm saying, or wherever, whether they're hot right now or they're legendary classic. Let's bring it, like let's just let them know who is the Somali artist that everyone needs to check out from gotkushTV right about now.
Okay, so I'm gonna name few favorite ones in a modern time, and then maybe give you certain old ones. The first one is Armanta. Armanta is one of my favorite Somali singers or artists, and then there is Ismail Danan, right? Ismail Danan, and what's the other guy's name? Okay, for those two, and then from the old times, I would suggest people to listen to Samatar, right? There's a guy Samatar.
Spell that.
Samatar is SAMATAR.
Yep.
And Samatar is really good. And another one to add to that is what's his name? Tuba. You know, so Tuba is Tubeec, right? So Somali is pronounced C differently. It's Ain, you know. Tuba. Yeah, that's the best one. I
All right,
think of.
check that out, family. Check that out. Yeah, we're facilitating the unity of Africa right about now.
I wanted to ask you a question. Why the name Kush? You know, Kush.
So the founders of gotkushTV, right? Use it as an acronym, What's it called? Knowledge, unity, strength, and health. Knowledge, unity, strength, and health. Right.
Okay.
But in the continuum of African history, Kush is a part of the Nile Valley civilizations, in it, which is really the beginning of much of what it's like the cultural center. It's like, so Kush. What they call. Sorry, what they call Kush, what they call Nubia, what they call Kemet is like what Greece and Rome is to the Europeans, if that makes sense. So it's a cultural center. All the Greeks and all the Europeans don't come from Greece and Rome, but they derive their culture and their philosophy from Greece and Rome and them kind of things.
If I may add, when you look in antiquity, Everlast, you talk about Kush, you're actually talking about the area of the world today that is Somalia, that is Ethiopia, that is Djibouti, that is Kenya. That is the side of Africa,
True, yeah.
So once we can establish Kush, Kemet, Kush, linked by the Nile, all right, we establish the great universities of ancient Africa, which taught all other races and all other nations.
I agree. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, because I don't know. It's like, I was just thinking about why Kush, you know. So I just wanted people to know. Also, other brothers asked me about this question a while ago. You know, Shakara has something going on for himself called gotkushTV. You know, tell him, is he? You know, some Somalis, like, you know, my people are very protective about their identity sometimes, and you know, some people tell me, is he saying that I am Kushitic? You know, is that why? Or stuff like that.
The funny thing is, there are brothers and sisters from Ethiopia that might say the same thing. Brothers and sisters from Sudan. Because remember,
Sudan,
part of Kush as well. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't have a thing about that, to be honest with you. I mean, we can go into a whole thing about like African history and
I think we could do that maybe another session.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bring back the Speaker's Corner vibe again. You know?
You know, I feel like it kind of relates to our previous conversation, but back like them times there, when there was a distinct entity called Kush, like a lot of the separations that we have today did not exist, right? Just what I'm saying, we cannot superimpose our, you know, fractions today 5,000, you know what I'm saying, 7,000 years ago. Like,
but we still can't disagree that there was fractions.
I'm not saying that there wasn't fractions. I'm saying that what we call them today just didn't exist, right? So I agree. So like, for example, in Kemet, Kemet was there's no tribe called Kemet, right? It's just, I'm saying Kemet is not which is a civilization that lasted for over 5,000 years, right? It's not there's no single. It's not it wasn't built by an individual tribe. There are various groups of people that went to the Nile Valley and built up that civilization. Just what I'm saying. And so all now, like, even when we're reading the documents, even though they might have been distinct people, we're not finding a lot of evidence of this tribe, that tribe. Just what I'm saying, like, you know, in Tarseti, Nubia, and Kemet, like that. Just what I'm saying. So we got to bear that in mind as well. And we may be more connected than we think we are, historically speaking. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, that's a big maybe, though. That's a big.
Can I just add? Yeah, one of the beauties of us being born in the West, there are numerous museums. The Louvre Museum in Paris, the British Museum in London. There are numerous museums, which confirm when we speak about Kush, when we speak about Tamara. In fact, you can go to Cambridge University's Fitzwilliam Museum, and they will explain to you about Tarseti, Nubia, Tamare, ancient Africa, Kush, the Kushites, the Nubians. They will explain and show you artifacts. The word artifacts means facts of art. All scientists are agreed. All human life started on the continent of Kush, Tamare, Tarseti, Africa, whatever you want to call it, that is your right. Also, as well, all religious books, all the writings show you the first lands, the first nations, the first countries mentioned are today African nations and African countries. That is undenied by all academics, my brother. Yeah,
that's true.
Museum, yeah, because I know we are educated people, so you cannot dispute with the artifacts or the facts of art, which many African governments are asking back for from the French, are asking back for from the British. That do exist, that we can walk into the museum today and see with our eyes. That's the beauty of us being born in the West today, because those artifacts that they've stolen make up. The museum doesn't happen without African artifacts, my brother.
I agree with you 100%. But I mean, I would love to have this conversation. This is I love historical conversations. You know, Shakara knows this.
I know. Yeah, and you're doing it good, bro. I want to just commend you again. Yeah. By the way, we're leading up to an event on Sunday, right? Called Introduction to the African Alchemy of Spirituality. Yeah, where we just got various different spiritual perspectives from an African perspective coming through, right? And the other day you did a session whereby you were talking to an uncle. I mentioned it earlier about pre-Islamic Somali religion, Somali religion, right? And so you can check that out, brother and sisters, if you want to learn about something about, because a lot of people ask this question, right? And in terms of, you know, especially that Somalia, Ethiopia. Well, what was going on in Somalia, Ethiopia prior to? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the brother has a good interview with our uncle who goes into this, and so in light of that, like, just I'd like for you to give our viewers a little snippet of the kind of thing that you learned in that conversation with the uncle about pre-Islamic Somali religion.
First of all, the pre-Islamic Somali history kind of begins with the crow, you know, the black crow. And the black crow is very significant, because what you understand from the black crow is, like, it's that same black crow in the Quran is mentioned that taught Cain how to bury his brother because he didn't know how to. Right. That's the reason why I'm saying this, is because it's really important in the Kush, in the Waqi. So basically, the Kushitic religion was called Waq or Waqiya. Also, it's very strange that even so, Waq means the sky god. Right, but also in Hawaii, you know, the Hawaiian people, they have a religion. They have their own religion with many gods. The great god they worship is called Waqiya, the Sky Father. You know, so I think there's a connection there. I just had to mention that. Now, coming back to Somalis now, so basically, at some point, mankind didn't know how to speak, and they were seeking spirituality and stuff like that. And so, and they came across this intelligent bird that can, that can do a lot of things. One of the things that the bird can do is, like, it looks up to the sky and makes a noise, crying out to God for food. And people, like, the Kushitics were like, wow, we want to worship what the bird is worshiping, and so that's how the Waq thingy came up. But and then from there, so to them they thought that wak, whatever the bird is crying out to, is in the sky, and that's its creator, and that could be the creator of all. And so they started calling, we worship the sky god. And so at this point, Somalia, all the Cushitic people were divided into two basic tribes, right? You had the Bet tribe, and the Bet tribe were composed of the Gala and the Gale, right? So the Gala and the Gale were like basically Gala means people who don't domesticate camels. And Gale means people who domesticate livestock, i.e. nomads. And so these two tribes once upon a time lived in Lake Tana and Lake Turkana and them areas, and they've migrated into, at some point there was a war, or there was a clash between them. They've migrated into, northeast Somalia, and into the River Nile. And this is just oral history, because also this is confirmed by written history, the Afro-Asiatic migration, where we've all started from. And the brother also, what was it called? Ausgura was telling me about other ancient nations that came before the Bet nations. They were called the Irima. It was the Irima. I think I got them on my phone. So they had different nations at that time. So basically, different people migrated to different places. And long story short, that's what we worship, Waq. So Waq basically means the god, the one god of the sky god. And it was inspired by a bird, because at some point humanity could not speak, when this bird came. And so the first word was like, Waqda, Waqda. So meaning like say Waq, or Waq bless you, and then eventually words were composed. And as words kept going, then you had the have you heard about the Chinese philosophy of the yin and yang? A lot of people think the yin and yang is actually a Chinese philosophy and is only exclusive. But the thing is, like, the yin and yang actually comes from nim and nag, right? And nim and nag is like the opposite worlds. And nin is light and nag is darkness. And so we need both to balance creation and all of this stuff. So I'm not saying it as perfect as Ausguru was saying it, but because this guy, he says it with passion. Go on.
Everlast, it sounds like we need to get that elder on the next African spirituality, yeah? So people try into African spirituality before the invasion of the Indo-Arabs and Islam came into view. And that's not to disrespect, that's to put our history, our African history, in order, if that makes sense.
True. Yeah. So basically the Waq religion is also said to be the proto-Egyptian religion, because for instance, we believe in, like when you want to make a sacrifice, we say go Ra, meaning kill for Ra or Waq, and the sky god. Or sometimes, he was also telling me about how the Kusherites, the Waqi religion, believed that basically the sun, for instance, they believed that they worshipped the god behind the sun, and they believed that the sun was like a pea hole, where people, a hole that's pierced through the sky that God can look through. So the light coming out was God's light, shining upon the world, something like that. Yeah.
So I'm putting this out there, right? Because obviously we made links between China and Hawaii, even, and them kind of things there. But for people that study like indigenous African spiritual systems, you'll find a lot of similarities in what he's just laid out, especially in terms of the masculine, feminine, the light and the darkness, those balances, those opposite forces that balance out the universe. This is ubiquitous, yeah. In like Yoruba, it's Ogbe and Oyeku. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like these forces. I can't remember what it is in Igbo, but you'll find it also in ancient Kemet. Do you know what I'm saying?
In Sham, in ancient Kemet.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a serious thing. So it's a subject that I'm very interested in.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. I'll send him this video. I'll tell him to watch it, and I'll try to see if we can set up a time that we can all come together and speak about this. And I'll see what happens after that. And also, I would just like to have, like, normal speakers. When are you going back to the park, man?
Not sure, bro. We'll see. I had a mind to go a couple of weeks ago, but I'll be there at some point before the end of the year. next month definitely. Let's say next month definitely. I'll come down again.
Hopefully, man. Anyways, it was nice conversation, brother.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
We'll invite you back to Got Kush Everlast. No worries.
Oh, definitely. Check out Somali Corner Family on YouTube. Yeah, you'll learn a lot about Somali history. I got to watch. You did the one with her sister recently about Somali history, so I got to watch that one next.
I just want to say to people, like, you know, if you're Afrocentric or if you believe in the Black unity and all that stuff, first you have to watch my debates on Speaker's Corner before you go to my channel. Just so you know.
I agree with that, bro.
Just giving people a heads up, because I mean, I'm an African. I love Africa, but you know, my ideology is a little bit different. You know,
trust me. Yeah. But you can learn something anyway, brothers and sisters. So feel free. You know what I'm saying? But yes, that brother Everlast is an inflammatory brother. So all right, thank you for joining us, bro. Thank you for joining us.
Bro. All right, salam, bro. Peace and love. Peace and love, bro. Bye.
All right, kings and queens. Yeah. Let's say 10 minutes. Yeah. We're gonna have this is your last chance to come through if you want to come through. That was a nice you know.
Yes, I could read. There's a nice meditation. You know what? Wakara? You said Wakara? Yeah.
So interestingly, what he didn't mention is the ancient Somali so-called religion is similar or basically the same as the Oromo, the Oromo, what the Oromo people practice. They call it Wakafina, yeah. So it's spiritually the same thing, but yeah, Waka, yeah, is what they call it. So that's the name for the creator. Wak is the name for the creator. Yeah, man, and it's good to see that this knowledge is coming out. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time when you asked
African spirituality, bro, because you see, we invited the brother on, and we started to join some dots. You hear what I'm saying? So that elder you were speaking to that you caught, we now need to get him.
Yeah, it was very informative. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially because like there was a time when you asked a question like that and you wouldn't. A lot of people didn't know. It's like asking people from Grenada right now about the Grenada Revolution. Like you hardly get anything because a lot of people just don't know. Like it's like all this information was suppressed after the American invasion, and so you find that a lot of places in the African diaspora where there's certain things, especially that spirituality, a lot of people don't know about. If I go to Jamaica right now and ask people what is Obia, they're gonna tell you about some ritual and some cut off neck and some chicken, but they don't really know what it is, right? No. Just what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, why should be demystified? You hear what I'm saying?
Right. So it was very interesting to learn about the original Somali spiritual systems, and there's so much more to learn, you know. And it was evident that it comes out of the same kind of philosophical framework as all of the other African indigenous African spiritual systems that I've ever come across personally. So that was an interesting one. I want to big up my sister, Yogini Zing, you know what I'm saying, my fellow Basu, yeah. And on this, you know, Smitawi journey, you know, check her out, Kings and Queens. She's doing some fantastic and beautiful work because she's a fantastic and beautiful sister. But yeah, man, check her out, Kings and Queens.
Quickly, what is Smitawi?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Smitawi or Simatau is ancient Kemetu name for it. It means a similar thing to what yoga means. Yoga means to yoke or to bring together, to unify. So Sima, so Sima means union. Tawi is the land. Yeah. So we speak of in terms of Kemetu yoga, in the union of the two lands in terms of ourself. Yeah. Hemispheres of the brain, the mind, the body, and the spirit. And also the yin and the yang, you know what I'm saying? It's masculine and feminine, the light and the darkness. But also on a bigger level, it's the Simatawi was also a name for Kemet, which was the union of the two lands, right? Yeah. So it's a nation building. Yeah, it's a nation building. I see Simatawi as a nation building art, that it has the capacity or the ability to help to synchronize our consciousness for one purpose and one goal and them kind of things there. So it's also about the union of the people as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Would you say that Shmai, I know what Shmai is an Atonis.
Yes.
Yes. Is an intrinsic and important part of African spirituality.
Oh, definitely. All spiritual systems has rituals, but rituals for self-development and therapy are extremely important. Yeah, self-therapy. So in the sense of the fact that I heard it put like this one time: we don't wait for people to be in mental ill health before we address their mental health. in our indigenous societies. So all of our spiritual systems that we look at, we focus on the deities, as though they are separate and external to ourselves, without recognizing that these deities are internal, right, and parts of the self. So it's a framework for assessing our mental health. You look in ancient Kemet, and you've got the 9 or the 12, depending on who you read, parts of the soul, and the whole focus of it is to keep the self in balance. So you've got these different selves that must be kept in balance with each other. And if they're out of balance, you're in mental ill health.
Yes.
Right?
So therefore, you know that on the next Alchemy of African Spirituality, you'll be doing a Shmai class.
Right? Oh, most def. Yeah. But when it was, right, man wanted to bring something different, and I like to connect spirituality to revolutionary energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So I thought, let me bring that element to this thing right here. You know,
I want to bring the balance and the harmony.
Definitely. I'll touch on it in this presentation as well. But next time we'll go into it even more. You know what I'm saying? Big up our brother EX in the building as well. You done know, King. Aki Mo says, in Somalia, actually, I'm sure that should be. There are bare cities called Wak, like Kabul Wak. Forgive my poor Somali pronunciation. KL Wak, and Wak Badi, Wak Badi, so man. So it's good to see that at least the name has been preserved in that kind of way. I was introduced a couple months ago to a bad boy tune from Somalia, which is a Pan-African song. It's called Hurudoi or something like that, right? But it's basically a song that was in a play, and it's about how basically all of it was performed at a Pan-African conference or something like that that was held in Somalia. All the nations are there, and it was looking out against these leaders that are taking money from the West and selling out their people. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's a bad tune, bad tune. But
what's it called? You said?
If I might, because I think I can bust it copyright free, so I might bust it near the end of the show, innit? Just to give people a vibes for the thing before we close out. We can drop some Somali musical vibration. Ronya, is it? Kings and Queens. All right, we're inside the last 5 minutes, So get in now.
Quickly, we don't even find out yet what they want to hear from us.
Oh we did ask you earlier, Kings and Queens, if you wanna know, like if you wanna give us some suggestions in terms of things that you want to see on gotkushTV. I don't think we got anything so far. That must mean that we're doing a very good job. You know what I'm saying? but also, I feel like the conversation with Everlast, people was appreciating that energy as well. So they were just listening. I got a few comments saying, this is an excellent conversation and them kind of thing there. So appreciate that.
The whole point of the conversation, it's all about now us getting in tune and in touch with our African spirituality, because as my young brother Shakara excellently put across, we dealt with illnesses and ailments and diseases before they came across us. This is why we utilize the term prevention is better than cure. It makes sense? Prevention is better than cure. So as he was saying, protecting yourself from mental illness, harmonizing the cells in your body, harmonizing yourself, Shmai was a part of that. We had breathing exercises. Hoodoo was a part of that. We had martial arts exercises, Montu arts exercises. This was a part of that. All of this is a part of African spiritual. What the Asians call yoga today, that was a part of African spirituality. What the Chinese call martial arts today, that was a part of African spiritual. Are you aware of this? This is a part of African spirituality, as well as science being a part of African spirituality. And we now have to take the African, from the spirituality that a lot of our people are running to the new age or are hearing that it's pagan business when it's not. We have to take the African out of your New Testament, out of your Old Testament, out of Buddhism. A lot of our people have gravitated to Buddhism because they like the meditation side of it. Meditation is a part of African spirituality. And we have to put that all together for you. So make sure you subscribe, you comment, you like gotkushTV, and if you like anything about this conversation, then you will want to purchase at Got Kush events. Go to events. You want to purchase. It's only £5. Support what we're doing. Yeah, because there's more coming down the line. So the more you support now, the more we'll be able to invest for further events down the line, whereby we can now start to join the dots and show you the importance of African spirituality and why we need it in this day and time. Because I think many people, especially many people who claim to be either spiritual or religious, would recognize that there is a spiritual warfare going on the planet at this present time. Would you agree with, disagree with me, Shaka?
No, most definitely, bro. Most definitely.
Yeah, and
Eden business is that. Sorry, Duamatif. I don't even mean to interrupt you here, but somebody has asked a sacrilegious question, and I have to lick out against it. I come across a post that said, Beres Hammond, Freddie McGregor, Garnett Silk, or Dennis Brown, one gotta go. Which one would you choose? What kind of sacrilegious question is?
No, man. We can't
ask the question there. What are people about dealing with? Sorry, Duamatif. I was incensed by that question. Sorry. Go ahead, Duamatif. Go ahead.
No worries, my brother. Yeah, but the point that we're bringing across to you at this present time, getting back my train of thought, is that in terms of African spirituality, in terms of the fact that a lot of people, if you are religious or spiritual, recognize we're going through spiritual warfare at this present time. We need to put on the armor of the Most High, guardian angelic host, God, Allah, Jah, whatever you call him. We need to find the African in Islam. We need to find the African in Judaism, in Hebrewism. We need to find the African in Christianity, African in Buddhism. Somebody asked us a question on my social media page saying, why do you use Namastu when it's Hindu Namaste? And I said, well, where do you think the Hindus got it from? Yeah, and
I should have said this earlier when brother Everlast was saying I can't remember the terms that he used, but he was saying where he thinks the yin and yang came from. It's necessary to note that our ancient ancestors in East Africa were doing trade, yeah, with the people them in India and China and them kind of things there. So it's not a far-fetched notion.
No,
so,
this is what I'm saying to you. Ganges River in India, it's named after an Ethiopian pharaoh. Are people aware of this? Yeah, Ganges was an Ethiopian pharaoh. These are things that they will not explain to you or will not tell you. So when you look at what is the oldest language on the planet, it's not Latin of the Romans, it's not Greek, it's not the Semitic languages of Arabic or Hebrew, it's not Sanskrit. Yeah, the oldest language they will tell you on the planet is the hieroglyphs coming out of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, coming out of the Shubaka stone. Yeah, these are the oldest languages, and out of the language of hieroglyphics, you got cuneiform, you got Chinese, you got Japanese, you got Sanskrit. So when we use the term Namastu, we're not copying Namastu. They copied us. Don't get it twisted. We were here first. Yeah. So many of us are not aware of this because we're not aware of the language and how language evolved, developed, and spread. So because we've lost knowledge of language, and language is key, like I said, you go to Fitzwilliam University, Great Cape, they'll tell you hieroglyphs was the first language, even though they say it wasn't a spoken language. Was it? Wasn't it? Yeah, and there is more than one hieroglyphic script as well, which many people are not aware of either.
Very true.
Yeah? Very true. Yeah, I'm saying to you. So all of these things now we've got to put together, yeah, so our people can now see that we have a tangible spiritual system which helps us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, if this makes sense, Shakara.
Yeah, most definitely, King. I just want to shout out the chat for a second. Empress Free is saying fantastic vibes. And if you want to get into some Smitawi kings and queens, you do check out your Guinea Zing. You know what I'm saying? And Zinga, she's doing free classes. You get free what? 9 a.m. Every Friday, yeah, via Zoom. Yeah, so check her out. And these things, kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? Do check out your Guinea Zing. And Zinganics, you don't know, kings and queens. Yeah, man. So I appreciate that. You know what, Duamatefi, I feel like I should let the people them know like some facts here and figures here about Thomas Sankara and Maurice Bishop to close out the show. You know, Just some information in it. Cause you know what? How I feel, yeah. That you know, we were talking earlier about the things that we often don't talk about in our history. A lot of the time we talk about our leaders that were assassinated, but we don't always remember what they achieved. Yeah. And it's important to remember what they achieved, like what they did. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's madness. Like when you look at some of the things that they achieved, it's mad. So I feel like I should.
One favor.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
You close with colonial mentality, fella, for me, please. Yeah?
Oh, if I'll see if I can find a live version because them tune there. Yeah, you know, them tune there will get struck.
Everybody who listens to this needs to listen to colonial mentality, and you kind of get where Gotkush is trying to take you out from and trying to take you into black group economics, black group spirituality, black group liberation. You get me? That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I might can drop a live version from his son, but not from fella himself.
It don't matter. That will do. Yeah, we'll have it that the energy of fella.
Or there's a like a clip where he's talking about it. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. We'll get something done. We'll close out on some fella and Nicola Pakuti vibrations, kings and queens. All right. So let me just read a couple things here for you. First of all, achievements of Thomas Sankara between 1983 and 1987 when he was the president of Burkina Faso. And so in 1983, he overthrows an oppressive neo-colonial regime, which was still under the control of France, in 1983. He rejects the colonial name Upper Volta. So under colonialism, that land was called Upper Volta, and he renames the nation Burkina Faso, which in the Mossi language means land of upright people. I don't have enough time to go into the significance of the Mossi people, but the Mossi are some very serious people, kings and queens. In West Africa, who rejected in slavery and fought against all kinds of oppression and them kind of things there. So check that out. Good book on that actually is Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. He speaks about the Mossi in there. Struck a massive blow to corruption by cutting government ministers' wages, selling off all the Mercedes-Benz owned by government ministers, banning all government ministers from traveling first class, banned government chauffeurs, among many other measures. All of the above applied to him before all else, and that was a measure to get rid of so-called corruption. You know, they tell you about corrupt African leaders. This was an uncorruptible man, and he was known to be uncorruptible, inducted a large number of women into the government and the army, banned female circumcision and the practice of expelling girls from school for getting pregnant, created days where men had to go to the market to buy food for their homes, a task usually exclusively performed by women. He also, in that respect, because women controlled the market, there was a day where men had to control the market in solidarity with the women, and he did that to get rid of, unbalanced gender dynamics and them kind of things there. Increased food production, making Burkina Faso food self-sufficient in 4 years, opposed and resisted any and all foreign aid from France, the IMF, World Bank, or any other neo-colonial institutions. The government under Thomas Sankara challenged other African governments to stand up against neo-colonist penetration of Africa through Western trade and finance. He called, and that's a quote, neo-colonist penetration of Africa through Western trade and finance. He called on African governments to refuse aid and repudiate so-called debt. Built a monumental amount of roads, railways, and houses, creating new trade routes and better living and working conditions. Required public servants to wear traditional garments woven from Burkinabe, which is like the name for people from Burkina Faso, Burkinabe, cotton, and sewn by Burkinabe people. Abolished the colonial army, converting army bases into the first supermarkets in the nation. Organized the nation, its youth in particular, to plant millions of trees to combat desertification. So the desert is expanding in West Africa. He organizes the nation to plant over 2 million trees. That's madness. 2 million trees. Apparently something similar was done in Ethiopia recently. And I'm going to move on. Oh, by the way, there's a good documentary on YouTube called Thomas Sankara, The Upright Man. You can check that out if you want to know more information about Thomas Sankara. It's a very good watch. And lastly, achievements of Maurice Bishop and the People's Revolutionary Government of Grenada between 1979 and 1983, when Maurice Bishop was assassinated on the 19th of October in 1983. Firstly, overthrew an oppressive neocolonial government of Eric Gairy via a peaceful resolution, abolished the constitution given by the British, and declared the People's Revolutionary Government in March 1979. Maurice Bishop becomes the Prime Minister under that the People's Revolutionary Government. Their first act, their first law that they passed was a law against the sexual exploitation of women in the workplace. They developed zonal councils, parish councils, worker parish councils, and farmer councils as mechanisms of participatory democracy, getting the people involved in the building of the nation and giving them a representative voice to the government. Developed National Women's Organization, National Youth Organization, the Farmers Union, and various labor unions, so that the ordinary people were empowered to play a first-hand role in the shaping of the government policies. As a part of the zonal councils, senior members of government were required to visit local meetings once a month in order to give a report and take questions. They reduced unemployment, from 49%, in 1979 to 14% by 1982. Established a center for popular education, which built schools and developed adult education programs. As a result, illiteracy went from 35% in 1979, to just 5%, by 1983, and some say it was even as low as 2%. So imagine now you've got 35% illiteracy, and you get it down to between 2 and 5%, in the space of a few years. Increased capital investment from 8 million to 100 million by 1982. Passed laws that granted women paid maternity leave with the assurance of being able to return to their job after the leave done. Made education free from primary to university, and awarded over 100 free scholarships for Grenadians to study abroad, particularly in medicine, within 6 months of the revolution. More than doubled the number of doctors, moving from a ratio of 1 doctor for every 4,000 people before the revolution to the present ratio, which is of in 1983, of 1 doctor for every 2,700 people of our population. Instituted free healthcare and increased the number of dental centers from 1 to 7. Doubled electricity output, ensuring that electricity got to the rural as well as city areas. Abolished income tax for the lowest paid workers. Invested heavily in agro-industrial development, resulting in a marked increase in Grenadian fruit and veg production, as well as packaging and retail. That's just a few of the achievements of the governments of the revolutionary Burkina Faso under Thomas Sankara and revolutionary Grenada under Maurice Bishop. Just some important information for your Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So go through with that, kings and queens. And your Guinea Zing is letting you know what's it called, where you can get in touch with her. You know what I'm saying? In terms of if you want to get into your Smaitawi, your yoga, your African yoga in the morning every Friday. Free sessions are going on, kings and queens. So do check it out. All right, do check it out. So yeah, man, I hope you learned something from that. Them say Black History Month, so we give you some Black History, forgetting that your mentality.
Holocaust as well, we give you some of that as well, and as we say, introduction to spirituality. And hey, to all our subscribers, non-subscribers, those who check us out regular, those who don't check us out but watch whatever we put out there to see whatever ideas we come out with, whatever takes your flavor, whether it be Decipher, I love Decipher personally, whether it be Insight with Shakara, whether it be Holomed, whether it be Wordsmith, feel free to share something from gotkushTV site.
Yeah, man.
I mean, because I see everybody, the reason why I say Shaka, and I'm not being bad man about, because I see everybody sharing Enslaved by what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson and Afua Hirsch. I see everybody sharing things about other programs that are coming, and Teddy Pendergrass. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, yeah. But really and truly, yeah, Nubian men are like black people. What is the BBC doing for us apart from taking our license money, please? Yeah. What is it doing for us, yeah? Apart from taking our license. So please feel free, yeah, to support. Yeah, your number one UK conscious, black conscious channel, gotkushTV. The same way you share the stuff from the BBC. You know, I think, Shaka, I think people are waiting to see if we're going to become mainstream celebrities, not knowing that our thing is unique.
Yeah, you know, man. We are our own mainstream. We are our own mainstream.
And we need our own to support us, to share our thing. The same way you share the BBC's thing, it's not your own. Yeah, this is created by people who look like you, black people, made by people who look like you, black people, for people like you, black people. Yeah. So the same way, like I said, we're not being bad. The same way you're sharing Teddy Pendergrass, or you're sharing Enslaved, or you're sharing whatever you feel mainstream is showing you for Black History Month. I see it going around my WhatsApp like 5 different times in different groups. I see it going around my social media, in my inbox on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Please share this, share what we do at gotkushTV. Remember to check us out, yeah, on the Instagram, gotkushTV. Check us out on the Facebook, gotkushTV. Check out Ant Doctor on Instagram. Yeah, check out Shakara on Instagram. You know what I'm saying to you? Share our things, because we're doing it for the love of our people. But it's like saying we don't reach celebrity theatre yet, Shaka. You know what I'm saying? People say we don't cross over yet, but you don't know. The mainstream has come to footage from gotkushTV. I'm allowed to tell you that. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Build a thing, car. We're about you, and you'll see that the more you support what we're doing, the more you're gonna like what we're doing, because you must like it, because we're still waiting to hear what you feel you would like to see on gotkushTV.
They must see it already, you know. They must see it already still, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we give thanks. Yeah, we look forward to interacting with you more. Give thanks for that, the one Matef. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna sign out, family. All I gotta say, yeah, is get your tickets. Yeah, get your tickets. Yeah. What's it called? Right now, yeah. We're gonna pull it up on the screen, yeah, where you can get your tickets from for the African Alchemy of Spirituality. I'm sure it was here before. All right, hold on a second. Let me just make sure. Let's make sure. 1 second. So you know where to get your tickets, yeah. Right, yeah. You have to get it from gotkushtv.co.uk /events, yeah. gotkushtv.co.uk /events, yeah. So you can get it right. Yeah, all on there. In fact, let me do that one more time so that it just did it. Yeah, there we go. All right, gotkushtv.co.uk /events. If you want to come through to the introduction to the African Alchemy of Spirituality this coming Sunday, the 18th of October. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. By the way, if you want to learn more about Black History Month, there we have a series on gotkushTV presented by myself entitled I mentioned it. Black History Month is dead? ? You know what I'm saying? So check that out. It gives you the history of Black History Month, both in the UK and the US of A, as well as some other surrounding issues. So share that. Share Wordsmith, yeah? 3 episodes of Wordsmith released in the last few weeks. You want to check that out. Share it far and wide. Share Decipher, yeah? And share all of the content, yeah? Because we've been at a number of different events recently. Trafalgar Square and the march against Mask and all them something there, so you can find exclusive coverage of all these things, some of these things, because we're here to them.
March, we did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you know what? I've been told by the executive producer in the background at the moment. He said we need to talk about, before we go, the fact that we had a content pulled, yeah, because we were talking about the COVID thing. Yeah, and we had some content pulled, and also we got to mention as well the people that come on the platform who try to dominate our way of thinking, yeah, because they feel it's not about them, because we're concentrating on black liberation and black group economics.
Oh, well, them people, they're idiots still. That the ones that try to flood up the platform and trolling them thing there. They're idiot looking attention, isn't it? They're not serious. Them not important. You know what I'm saying?
However, dramatic, you know, my brother.
No. What I mean is,
you're Jamaican.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, no, sorry, but you're talking about them why that troll the platform when we're doing lives and them thing there,
Yeah,
isn't it?
they try to conquer we with them colonial mentality. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
run that. Lightning for them people. But yeah, it is an interesting one because a lot of people have been experiencing this, yeah, in terms of getting their content pulled for different reasons. I heard one the other day, and it wasn't even was it COVID that they were talking about? Can't remember, you know. But yeah, man, it's the censorship is real right now, kings and queens. You know what I'm saying?
Peek
Yeah.
at it.
You know, so this is why as well you need to support the gotkushTV website because at some point, kings and queens, we're gonna have to be housing a lot of this stuff on platforms that we run, yeah, platforms that we own. And the bigger level is that we shouldn't even be on their internet. But that's another question for another time. Because when you go out of China, they don't have the internet down there because they understand nation building and security, right? You can't. They have their own internet, yeah. And bearing in mind that the internet was built by the American military, right, as a weapon. So we got to bear that in mind, yeah. And be on the lookout for the fact that we need to be self-autonomous, yeah, in all areas of people activity, and that includes science and technology, kings and queens. But yeah, what you want to say on this strike in Dua Matef?
I just want to say that it won't stop us putting out consciousness that can be confirmed. It's in the public domain as well. It shows you we're moving into an era whereby free speech is not free anymore. I totally agree with you in terms of us controlling and having our own internet and having our own server and services. And you're right in saying that we're going to have to place content on the website to make sure others are not in control of what we wish to put out to educate, especially not just our people, but humanity at large. Yeah, a liberty them would I say in a Jamaica. A liberty the man them is taking with us right about now. You know how hard it is right now out here. You know, so as a small business trying to come up, and we emphasize the word small business trying to come up, it's like they don't want we get piece of this cake. Yeah, right about now.
And the cake sweet, did it? The cake sweet. It went
we're
nice.
making our own cake. We're making sure everybody can get a slice. Yeah, there's more than enough cake going around here. You know, so at this point in time, like I said, the censorship is real. Freedom of speech, it no longer seems to be around, especially when you're touching on the whole scenario of COVID and pandemics and viruses. Even though we know, as we explained earlier on, that the mother and fathers of science are African. The mother and father of medicine are Africans. So through gotkushTV, it is only right and exact and correct that we as African, Caribbean, Nubian, Melanites, African American, Black, British, we put forth our viewpoints in regards to science, in regards to medicine, in regards to politics, being that we are the fathers of these schools of thought. Shakara.
Yes, King. Yes, King. Give thanks for that. Give thanks for that. Right. We're gonna sign out, kings and queens. We're gonna give you some information about Sunday coming. We're gonna give you some info. We're gonna close out, yeah, with the energy of the man whose birthday is today, Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Yeah, check out. Yeah, let's go. Let's go listen to some Fela Kuti tune. In fact, one tune is our for you know, so you can listen to one Fela Kuti tune, but listen deeply, going on the spiritual element of the vibration when you listen to Fela Kuti's music. And yeah, man, get to know about that great artist right there, kings and queens. Rewind if you want to know about some artists from Somalia that you need to know about, courtesy of the only brother that joined us live online today. He goes by the name Brother Everlast. Thank you for joining us, Brother Everlast. And check out his channel, Somali Corner. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube, and we look forward to connecting more with Brother Everlast and our Somali brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying, conversation, all sorts of conversation in all kings and queens, and African unity will be achieved on the basis of our connections to each other. Family
must.
Yeah, that's right, kings and queens. That's right. So, African Alchemy of Spirituality coming this Sunday, the 18th of October. Always remember to keep it locked onto gotkushTV. If you have not subscribed to gotkushTV, subscribe to gotkushTV. If you are not on our mailing list, go to gotkushtv.co.uk and subscribe to our mailing list. Always remember, You ain't got nothing. If you
If
ain't
you ain't got
Kush.
Kush.
gotkushTV presents Introduction to the African Alchemy of Spirituality, taking place Sunday the 18th of October 2020. A powerhouse panel of speakers and performers bringing spiritual perspectives on all issues from childbirth to revolution, featuring Robin Walker, Dalian Adofo, Michelia Asantewa, Sister Moot, Shakara, Griot Chinyere, Leo Mohammed, Kahun Montuta, Ras Ashiba, and VVN, taking place Sunday the 18th of October from 12 p.m. streaming live online. Get your tickets and access to our live stream at gotkushtv.co.uk/events. It's the African Alchemy of Spirituality. Certainly an event not to be missed.
Ever since we got Reich, managing my team.
Everything was European background. The upbringing, the teaching in school. But my father was a pastor, you know, a pastor. And everything had to be English. And everything. We were not even allowed to speak our country's language in schools. And they called the language, they called our own languages vernacular. So English was the real language you had to speak in school. So everything was English. With what we were taught in schools, nobody was thinking of whether to be African or not. We just accepted that we were English, and anybody that went to England for studies was a master, you know. So everybody wants to go to England, come back home to be master, you know. So I never thought about it, being African as such, you know. So it didn't mean anything to me until much later in my life. It was in England I started to feel the awareness of having to be an African, because for the first time I came to England, I started to feel, oh wow, so these white people don't like us too much. You know, this is my experience from having to rent rooms. You know, I had so much. At that time, you read the newspapers in England, house for rent, no coloreds, no dogs, and all this. That annoyed me a lot, and then many students. You know, so at my student days in England, I started to be aware of having to be an African, but we had nothing to offer as Africans because we were all just taught English. Like one of the latest songs I'm singing now, I said, teacher, don't teach me nonsense, right? Now I was trying to let my people see, because in Africa, people respect teachers. You know, teachers, because they teach English and they teach their pupils, you know, respect teachers and pastors, you know, in Africa. So, okay, now I saw that I should now use teacher as my focus. So I said, I titled the song, Teacher, Don't Teach Me Nonsense. Now, I now wove this song into letting the people see that the white men have taught us everything we know. But I made people see also that one important thing they taught us was politics, because I wove in the song to the elections in Nigeria, because it was a farce. Now I mentioned democracy. Now in English, an Englishman will say democracy. But if the African man wants to say it in broken, he will say democracy. You see now. I now thought of the word. I said crazy. That's now I saw craziness. I said I could now see let my people see that democracy really is not that word, that is really madness, you know. So I said, now I started to sing. I said, I start to think of this word democracy. Democracy. Crazy demo. Demonstration of grace. crazy demonstration. Then I went a little bit serious because I know that people will laugh at that when they hear that. Then I went a little bit serious. I said, now, I said, if it's not crazy, why that in Africa, as time goes forward, things is getting worse. Poor man, they cry. Rich man, they mess. Democracy, crazy demonstration of grace. Then I ended up, to fuck the minds of the colonialists up. I said, if a good teacher teach something, if a good teacher teaches something, and a student make mistake, teacher must tell him that he's making mistake.